Are you ready to power up your day with some anime awesomeness? Of course you are, because today we are going to be talking about the best anime hero power-ups. I mean, who doesn't love it when their favorite characters level up and defeats the bad guys with ease? It's like leveling up in the real life, except without all the grinding and the XP points. From Luffy's Gears in One Piece to Eren Yeager's Attack Titan in Attack on Titan, we got it all covered up. So grab some popcorns, sit back, relax and get ready to witness the epicness of these power-ups. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to power up your anime experience even more.
よく狙って当ててみろ。
Alright, so let's get started with the list, and first up is Luffy's Gear 2 and Gear 3. Monkey D. Luffy's fighting style in One Piece started off rather simplistic, with him relying mainly on rubbery punches and kicks while occasionally inflating his body like a balloon. However, during the Water 7 saga, Luffy finally powered up and introduced his gears, marking a significant turning point in his fighting style. With Gear 2, Luffy adopts a dramatic stance and also emits steam before unleashing a barrage of powerful attacks on his opponent, as demonstrated when he beat up the CP9 opponent Blue Eno. To finish off CP9's forces, Luffy also unwielded the mighty Gear 3, which greatly expanded his One Piece to clobber any foe with ease. The next power-up is when Izuku Midoriya gained One for All from My Hero Academia. Izuku Midoriya was born with no quirk at all, making him a bit of oddity in a world where superpowers are a norm. However, his lack of a quirk ultimately worked to his advantage when he was chosen as All Might's successor, as he was the ideal vessel for the powerful quirk known as One for All. To prepare for this immense power of One for All, Izuku Midoriya trained for an entire year to condition his body and mind. And then he finally received the quirk from All Might. With One for All, Izuku was able to perform devastating smash attacks with his fist or even with finger flicks. And his newfound abilities allowed him to take on some of the most fearsome villains in the My Hero Academia universe. The next number is taken by Eren Yeager when he uses his Attack Titan powers for the first time. At the start of Attack on Titan, fans were introduced to Eren Yeager, a young man who swore revenge against the Titans that has destroyed his home and killed his mother. While he initially fought using swords and pure human strength, everything changed when he seemingly died at the hands of a beard titan and a strange new titan arrived. That new titan was Eren's Attack Titan, and it proved to be a game changer in the series. With this new power, Eren was able to take on titans with ease, using his strength and agility to outmaneuver even the strongest opponents. Furthermore, this power-up scene showed the fans that humans like Eren could use titan powers, which would later become a crucial plot point in the series.
Bankai!
On the 7th number, the moment is when Ichigo Kurosaki gained Bankai. Ichigo Kurosaki is the protagonist of the popular anime and manga series Bleach. At the beginning of the series, he is just an ordinary high school student with no special abilities. However, after encountering a Soul Reaper named as Rukia, he gains the ability to see ghosts and eventually becomes a Soul Reaper himself. Although his basic Zanpakuto gives him some power, Ichigo soon realizes that he needs to unlock the true potential of his weapon to become even more stronger. With the help of Kisuke Urahara, a former Soul Reaper, Ichigo trains to obtain his true Zanpakuto, achieving Bankai, the highest level of power that a Soul Reaper can attain. When he finally faces his nemesis, which is Captain Byakuya Kuchiki, Ichigo reveals his own Bankai Tensa Zangetsu and uses it to defeat Byakuya in a fierce battle. The next moment is when Yuji Taduri swallowed Sukuna's finger. Jujutsu Kaisen is a manga and anime series about a world where sorcerers use their powers to exorcise cursed spirits. Yuji Taduri is a high school student who discovers that he has a special talent for cursed energy. And due to some uncertain events, Yuji finds a cursed object called as Sukuna's finger. Yuji accidentally swallows one of these fingers and gains immense power from it. He learns to control his newfound abilities with the help of his mentor Satoru Gojo and fights against cursed spirits that threatens humanity. However, being a vessel for Sukuna's curse energy also makes him a target for powerful sorcerers who wants to use him for their own purposes. The next moment is when Kaneki becomes a Kakuja. Tokyo Ghoul is a dark fantasy manga and anime series about a world where flesh-eating ghouls lives among humans in secret. Kaneki is a college student who becomes a half-ghoul after being attacked by one of these ghouls. He learns to navigate this dangerous new world and discovers that some ghouls can obtain new powers by cannibalizing other ghouls. This process is called as Kakujo, and it transforms them into Kakuja, which have unique and powerful Kagune, the ghoul's predatory organ. Ken becomes a Kakuja with a centipede theme, which greatly enhances his power and gives him insectoid armor. However, this transformation comes at a cost, and sometimes it makes him lose control of himself. Even with his newfound strength, he is still no match for the powerful ghoul investigator Kisho Arima.
There's no hope now. It's over.
No, it's not over.
At the next number, the moment is when Avatar Aang wields the ocean spirit. Avatar The Last Airbender is an animated series set in a world where people can manipulate the elements like water, fire, air and earth. Aang is the Avatar, a rare individual who can master all of the 4 elements and bring balance to the world. In the show's second season, the Fire Nation launches a massive assault on the Northern Water Tribe, seeking to destroy their city and extinguish their source of power, the Moon Spirit. Admiral Zhao kills Tui, the Moon Spirit, and Aang realizes that he must help other fish spirit La to defeat the Fire Nation. With the help of his friends Katara and Sokka, Aang merges with the Ocean Spirit and becomes a giant koi-like kaiju Ocean Spirit. In that form, Aang decimated the Fire Nation's fleet and also forced the survivor to retreat, saving the North and buying time for Princess Yue to replace the fallen Moon Spirit. The next moment is when Denji becomes a part devil. Denji's transformation into Chainsaw Man was a life-changing moment for him. The fusion with Pochita granted him immense power that made him a force to be reckoned with in the worlds of Devil. He can now cut through almost anything with his chainsaw arms, and his devil-like regeneration power makes him virtually indestructible. However, as he adopts to his new abilities, Denji struggles with his emotional and physical toll that being a devil hybrid has on him. On the second number, the moment is when Naruto Uzumaki learned the Sage Mode. Naruto's mastery of Sage Mode was a game changer for him in the Naruto universe. With this power, he was able to sense the natural energy around him and use it to enhance his strength and speed to the new levels. His sensory abilities also allowed him to detect and counter his opponent's attack with ease. However, learning Sage Mode was not easy, and Naruto had to go a grueling training in the hidden village of Mount Myoboku to achieve it. But in the end, the efforts was worth it as it allowed him to defeat the powerful villain Pain and protect his loved ones from the Konoha village. And finally, on the first number, the moment is when Guts obtained the Berserker armor. Guts' acquisition of the Berserker armor was a turning point in the Berserk series. This powerful armor allowed him to tap into his innermost rage and also transform into a Berserker warrior, greatly amplifying his strength and speed. With this power, Guts can take on even the most fearsome enemies with relative ease. However, the Berserker armor comes at a heavy cost, and it slowly chips away at Guts' sanity and physical well-being, putting his life at risk each time he uses it. Despite this, Guts continues to rely on his armor to protect those he cares about and achieve his goals. And that's it for today's video guys about top 10 best anime hero power-ups. What are your thoughts about this video? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and also check out my other 2 videos over here. And if you enjoyed, please subscribe and like this video. And that's it, and I will see you in the next one. Sayonara.